Welcome back, everybody. Sitting here with Conrad. Came all the way in from the Windy City. He's one of my clients. He owns an agency, and he's recently started scaling and broadening his offer to help his clients in a greater fidelity at different levels of their business and get them more results. So without just taking all the thunder away, introduce Conrad here. Introduce yourself. Tell him what you do for business and how you help people, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so like Lynn said, main man, I had to fly out here from Chicago, the Windy City, to come see him, just for him. So I'm really glad we've been able to meet up here in person, filming here in the beautiful San Diego. We got a good day here today. So pretty much what I help people with is helping contractors over in the Chicago area, and I have a few guys on, like I'll meet one of them here in California, driving up to the national park, a few guys down in Texas, New York, Florida, helping them with their Instagram meta ads, their content creation, as well as some back-end systems that we'll get into. You helped me kind of get into that world to really go beyond just the expertise that we were helping them with of Instagram content. Like we had that nailed down for the last 2-3 years here. Now branching out to other components of the business that a lot of these guys are missing, some of the foundational infrastructure, and we can get into that.
Yeah, 100%. And just to kind of hit with some of the numbers here. So as a business owner, kind of what was your peak revenue? Just say your high score as a content agency, top line revenue. Hit them with that.
So top line, I'd give you for the month, the best month we've done was somewhere around 75, 80K.
Wow.
So that was in the last 12 months. And then overall, like for the last 12 months, like 400K revenue.
Wow.
So that's kind of where we're at. And obviously to make that amount of money, I have to be making other people a lot more money, to get my cut of it. So
100%.
We've gotten a lot better client results, and I think we're moving in the right direction with installing these foundational systems for people.
I kind of agree wholeheartedly here is in the agency space, what I kind of figured out over time was content alone and social media, I couldn't guarantee or ensure high probability that they would make revenue, right? Sometimes clients are doing everything right with their content. They're just not hitting the system and converting like they should. So we lay down foundations of systems by solving certain business issues that have a high probability of making almost every business way more revenue. We're talking 100, 200, 300, 400% more top line revenue by solving very specific business systems, which we'll get into on kind of how we helped Conrad widen his offer, basically like a low ticket system that solves some pretty serious business issues that 90% of all businesses have. So, Conrad, in your experience with working with probably 50 to 100 different
70 plus now,
70
75,
plus
yeah.
service businesses in the Midwest, what would you say is a common business opportunity that they're probably not so great at?
A lot of people are very excited to start spending a lot of money on ads, and they see the returns that we're able to get for people that have their systems put together of 30x, 40x, some of those ridiculous numbers. They get sold in on that, and like you said, they're missing some of these core foundational components, such as responding quickly to leads, having everything tracked. What I notice a trend, and this is why I'm building out a custom website for our clients to use to get their ad information to display with more transparency, because typically with data, this is what you told me as well, the more transparent you can get those numbers for anything, for the sales side of things, the ad data, the business overall, the expenses. That's why people do their P&Ls and keep track of everything. The more transparency you can put into those departments, the better efficiency you will be able to have, because you'll see where the problems are. And I think one of the main things with software such as displaying ad data, being connected into a proper pipeline, tracking who's a lead, who purchased, who bought, who needs to be followed up with, a lot of businesses don't have that, which we've been able to unlock for them now. Yeah,
100% agree. And for the business owners that are watching this, or maybe even just a bystander interested in starting a business, here's like the top things most businesses don't do well. One is lead flow. A lot of businesses have almost no lead flow, so it's word of mouth. And obviously you're limited to the amount of people you could talk to in any day. There's one of my guys doing a podcast. Come on over.
Bring the dog over.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother. Great, man.
Nice to meet you, Conrad.
Nice to meet you.
Clinton,
Shy.
pleasure.
How are
Pleasure
you?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Conrad.
Shy.
Thanks so much for coming. Huh?
Yeah, we're working right now. I have to get with you, man. Beautiful dog,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's like
to see you, brother.
the most
Good to see you.
attractive couple in the city right here.
Second place after you.
No, not even close. In the opposite day. In the opposite day. It's my much younger but way better looking brother.
No, just saying in front of the camera. Hey, good to
I'll
see you.
see
Thank
you,
you for everything,
see you, brother. All right, where were we? And that's the power of social media.
There
You
you
sit
go.
down and a client, an opportunity recognizes you from social media. He found me from our social media funnel. So once again, lead flow. Clients do not have a controllable lead source for marketing. Word of mouth is great when you're starting because it's usually free, but it's not reliable to scale a business, usually past 10, 20, 50K months in recurring. You're just stuck there. 2 is response time in businesses is usually outside for 90% of all businesses is beyond the consumer purchase window, which means that the majority of businesses take far too long to respond. And by the time they do, your potential client has already selected another vendor or service provider for the problem they need solved. That's usually the primary 2 issues. Once you solve those, you can reveal your sales issues, any type of follow-up, obviously fulfillment challenges, et cetera, become very obvious at scale with lead flow and effective systems to take advantage of those leads. So,
And I think between the both of us, 100 plus businesses easily that we've worked with, for us, it's easy to see these problems right away. It's the first questions we ask because it's the most common problem. When someone is working on their own business and they might have their few friends that run a few different businesses, but they don't really get onto these topics of like, what's the problem right now? What are you struggling with? A lot of people will miss this. They miss the fact that they need the transparency to first see the problem, and then how do we go about fixing it? Which we just mentioned to people, and I could challenge anybody. We could call their business up right now. I bet you they won't pick up, or when they do, they'll call you back a week later.
yeah.
And it's like, if that is what you're doing, like, you give them the statistics that you told me earlier on how much business they're missing.
Sure. So businesses, standard statistics is 90% of consumers purchase from the first business that responds. Okay, that's in under 45 minutes. The average business takes longer than 45 minutes to respond. Usually it's 2 to 24 hours later. They've already missed 80% of sales opportunities right there. Actually, they've already killed their business opportunity as a whole by just being so slow. So if you can respond in under a minute, you have a 4,000% increase in sales opportunity. So that establishment of fast response, be methodical, be psychopath at responding quickly, ensures that your business at a minimum, if you change nothing, will double top line revenue by just responding quick. That's it. Because a solopreneur or a new business owner is doing what? They're laying concrete, they're doing the fulfillment, they're on a sales call, they're managing their team, they're drywall hanging, they're painting, they're doing something physical where they can't pick up the phone and answer.
Right.
They just can't help it. So we create systems that help those businesses, 1, answer quickly, 2, get off the tools so they can start building out an effective team so that they can scale their business to 50, 100, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month relatively efficiently. And when we say efficiently, we're talking 90 days, 180 days with ease and repeatable.
100%.
That's what we do. So that's the statistics. That's real, not in just one niche and vertical. It's not real estate. It's not concrete. It's not service. It's across every niche and product and service type that exists. It's universal problem to solve.
And you mentioned like building the team. A lot of people are hesitant to get on that, make their first hire, spend their first $1,000 in ads. But it's like, if you really want to grow the business, you have to take it there. And it's like one thing complements the other. You need to have the lead flow to be able to justify getting a team to get off the tools.
Sure.
Because if they don't have work, they can't feed their family because you don't have the money to pay them. It's not going to work out. Then you have your admin staff. I've dealt with this so many times where I have a client that with the ads that he launches or the ads that he's been running and he's coming to me for help to help manage the lead flow, they're so hesitant to pay a receptionist or an admin or somebody to pick up the phone or do the messages for them. They're stuck doing it themselves. I feel like they get into two positions, these business owners that we're speaking about at the scale that they're at. One is either they're spending all the time on the tools, or two, they're spending all the time on the sales. And both of those positions, you want to get out of those as soon as you can, because then you can't focus on actually growing and scaling the business and having meaningful conversations like this.
Sure.
Like I would not be able to fly out here for a whole entire week to spend with you, of course, and with the national park, if I didn't have these systems in place and the team in place to handle work while I'm gone. You need to have the same thing for your business.
Yeah, 100%. It's difficult. If I had our first goal in advising a business, and what I would do for myself as fast as possible is get someone on the phone that could respond to the lead flow under 60 seconds. Pay them any amount that you can possibly afford, because it is going to be by far the best decision you ever made, because it'll establish your customer relationship status quo and how you handle business and your professionalism at hello by responding quicker, and you're going to secure the majority of the business opportunities that come through your business, even if you're more expensive. That's the key here, is you don't have to be the cheapest price. If you're first, you set an expectation of professionalism that mom and pop businesses and even a lot of the big boys cannot deliver at that level of quality.
Yeah, a lot of people jump at like, okay, what makes my business different? What's the differentiation? What can allow me to charge more and make more profit? Cool, that's a big factor, and find that for yourself, whatever it may be. I know Hormozy has a lot of videos about this, him going around the room, what makes you different? Our communication, we're professional. Everybody says that. You got to find your own niche. But what makes you different right off the bat is off of that hello, and how quick you can get there, because that will show how organized are you, how quickly are you going to be able to respond. Subconsciously, the homeowner is checking for this. If there is a problem with the project, how quickly can they reach you? And just having the confidence there that they're willing to spend more with you because they know that you're on top of the business, and you'll be able to respond quickly to them if they have an issue.
100%. And it matters. Establishing that relationship and that professionalism at hello just sets the tone for everything forward. The expectation now is that you fulfill that fast as well.
Yes.
And it's easy to fulfill that fast when you have that type of lead flow. It gets easier. So for us, the priority is get that individual to stack the sales as fast as possible, and then get the clients into the quote process, aka the sales process, as fast as possible. So you qualify at that call and that hello as fast as you can. Oh, you're a homeowner, you want this, where are you located? That's it. What's the primary reason that you want to, improve this area of your home? Is it for a sale or whatever that establishes urgency? Or is it just, have a spare, X number of dollars that they've always wanted to, improve their home in this way, or whatever service it is. You establish that pain point and that urgency, and then you get them into the quote process, either virtually or in person, as fast as human possible. Same day quote ensures you have a multi-7-figure business very easily.
The speed to lead is important. You also mentioned earlier, there's a lot of pieces of the business that, because a lot of the guys that we work with are contractors and they work with their hands, they are almost desensitized to the fact of like, okay, what material value is this going to bring to my business? They can understand, okay, you're going to promise me I spend $100 per lead. Cool. They can understand that because it's tangible, but they don't understand the importance of like the content. It's like, what am I investing right now with the content? You're building the brand. And some people can't make that correlation because it's not, like you said, they can't do the calculation on how much the material costs and how much it's going to make me. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I think the same thing goes for the content and then building the infrastructure for the business, like these systems to get Google reviews, get more referrals, have a website present there on your pages and on Google as well if you're running Google ads. A lot of guys aren't willing to invest the time there because they don't see that as important as the work that they're doing physically, but it's almost even more important because without that, you could spend more money on ads, push more money in marketing, but it's going to be less efficient and you're going to make less of a return, hence less of a profit. So you can get into that a little bit because I know we spoke about that earlier.
So when it comes to business, it's an end-to-end system. So it's not, most businesses, like he said, have a real hard time quantifying what is the value of posting on Instagram one time a day over the course of a month. They're under the assumption, because they're intangible businesses, they understand X number of pavers to fulfill this job requirement, which builds this retaining wall. I need this many hands, whatever. They get that. So when it comes to content, there is this intangible component of your social presence, building your brand, that has no direct correlation. They can't measure it because they're so used to observing the narrow quantifiable. Versus when you build a brand and you step out, it's about the volume that you can put into it. That doesn't necessarily have a tangible at the moment, but if you step out and observe, my top line revenue in like Conrad's business went from 0 to 450K. He put a lot of energy and resource into his brand, and it wasn't just the ads. There is a non-tangible component of him building that brand. The rate at which he's helping businesses results in an untrackable amount of referrals.
Yes.
It results in an untrackable amount of nurturing clients over time, where when their business hits a certain threshold, they only think of Conrad, right? It's the same thing with building out these business systems. If you can inject more revenue with your ads, you have more Google reviews, which leads into more organic referrals through the Google system with 0 ads. When you are building out more content, it builds into a system of nurturing to where you're warming up your clientele over time to where when they want something, they think of you. And even if they don't buy something from you today, they refer you one of their friends. Oh, I see this guy, Conrad, all the time that does this business. Maybe he can help your business, with their ads and their marketing, because I like what he does. It's dope. So I have clients and friends that have never done business with me, but they love what we do on social media and they refer me. But that happens with every business. It's not just me. Like, one of my guys, Jason, took his business from 10K a month to 210K months. He refers me all his clients. It took him a year to get there, but now he has sales team, he has social media, he gets recognized outside of his city. So when he travels, people recognize him. Oh, you're the, custom enclosure guy from, Port St. Lucie. Like content is about that. When I went to Miami, I haven't been in Miami in almost a year, landed in the city at the airport, someone recognized me. Oh, San Diego Clinton. That was from social media and content by marketing. When I was at multiple restaurants with clients that drove hours to see me and flew in from other cities, like people stopped. It's like, oh, Clinton, are you still doing the agency? Like, let me get your information. Like, I have opportunities. Like, it's about more and more and more and more and more. And it's really, really difficult sometimes to measure that. Building a brand long term.
Yeah, and a lot of people aren't willing to invest the time today for that delayed success, that delayed gratification later on.
Yep.
It's like the perspective that I give, especially to my guys that deal with higher end projects like Jason with these bigger pool projects, the custom enclosures, my guy Gio that deals with like high end hardscaping projects, is a lot of the times the reason why we're able to get such better returns when creating content for the business. Not only is no other company in your area doing that, because it's hard to do, it's difficult, whatever, they could cry about it, right? We're gonna do it. But also, not every single homeowner that comes through your ads, that comes through your funnel is ready to purchase today. So it's been very common for Gio, for example, someone comes in today and then 3 months later they finally commit to a project. Who knows? They might have been selling their house, moving into a new one, or just seeing what materials they want to choose, or seeing what contractor they want to work with. And if you're able to show up consistently for that 3-month period and nurture these people, by the end of that 3 months, they've seen you so much, there is no question in their mind as to who they're going to go with. For me, it's very similar. I've had people, these are some of the best like sales calls or conversations, I like to call them, that I've had. People have been watching me for the last 2 years, last 8 months, and I don't give up. I still consistently show up on Instagram, post my content, and then they finally commit, say 8 months later, and I'm like, wow, that was such an easy conversation. It's almost like this guy knew me for the last 8 months. And it's like, it's a no-brainer because they've seen, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours of my content over the course of 8 months. It's an easy sale.
Yeah.
They're not looking at anybody else's stuff at that point. There's only one person in their mind, and you could be that person that gets recognized locally. 2 days before I flew out here, I got recognized at the gym by 2 other people.
There you go.
2 separate instances. So it's like, not everybody, to Clint's point, not everybody that's going to be viewing your social media will be a qualified buyer, but they might know one.
That's right. That's right. It just takes time. You got to think are you fishing with a bobber, or are you fishing with a net? Social media is fishing with a net, and you bring all that fish back in, and now you throw them all in a pond.
Right.
You're not ready to eat, and none of those fish are ready to be eaten. But in time, those opportunities present themselves more and more. Like Conrad became a client of mine, not because he saw one ad one time.
Right.
He sat in my system, he nurtured, and I never pitched him business.
No, you never did.
I never once pitched him business. He came to me when he saw results in something he was interested to solve in his business, and he built up enough trust to where he opened up that conversation. And that's the system of social media. Yes, we have organic and non-organic paid traffic leads that come through that are ready to buy, and they don't know me from anybody. They've never seen me before. Him too. However, there is a large amount of my business. I would say now at this point, a large percentage, we're talking well above 50%, comes from the nurture system. Now the number is expanding, but my marketing budget, I can turn it off because of the amount of content I have, just our processes in place to where it's referral based. I have clients that come to me and be like, oh, I saw this post. Like I hadn't seen you in a year and I watched every one of your videos for like 3 days. Like I'm ready to buy. And they didn't even know that I solve these problems in our offers, and they'll see like client results. They're like, yeah, I watched your YouTube video too. Like, it's like, you creep. You didn't even say anything, and they just find it. So the beauty of marketing and social media is more always equals more. You just can't always see it in the real time as your balance sheet today. Yeah. That's it. Like Hermosi.
Yeah, it's actually funny. You mentioned you've never pitched me anything ever. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's like you've helped me tremendously in the client fulfillment process and some of the blind spots that we were missing at being a newer business. Because for the first 2 years, we were doing all right. Like I think that year, we might have made like, I don't know, 100, 150 revenue, and that's a good start. But once you get more people through, I want to make sure everybody's getting the attention that they deserve, getting the results that they deserve. And you've really helped me understand the transparency of data. And now also having an offer for people that might not be in a position to run ads right now, or even if they are, just because they don't have that foundational infrastructure, let's get that set up first. And I think that's been a very big shift to not only, like before I was just a specialist in Instagram and meta ads and content for these local contractors. That's all I did. And you're like, cool, Conrad, but take a look at all these other pieces of the business that are missing. And this is very important. Now when I speak to like clients that have been working with me on the ad side, and I ask them, I'm like, okay, we're spending all this money on ads. How is the sales looking? I don't know. I think it's good. Great. You get you hooked up to the system, and you're checking the response time. You're checking the transcripts of the calls. And it's like, actually, we're probably missing about 50% of business here. And that's been one of the major things that you've helped me understand recently that I'm very grateful for. So,
yeah. So response time, data, I look at it like this, and as business is, all the data exists and all the solutions exist already to all our reality. We just can't interpret the data in the correct way. And it seems very woo-woo and philosophical, but realistically, every decision you need to make is already present because you're ignoring the data, or it's not presented to you in a consumable way. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. Like businesses don't know, they're unaware that if their response times what it is today, they could be doing 2, 3, 4, 10x the business by just responding faster
Right.
to the leads they have. Where most businesses think, I need to spend 20, 50, 100K on ads to generate, 3, 4, 500 million dollars in revenue. And the answer is not necessarily. Realistically is we have to solve response time. The data reveals all our problems in our business. And once we get the response time down, we can reveal our marketing challenges, what's working, what's not working, what's bringing in qualified clients versus unqualified clients. Also reveals our sales issues, our call show up rates, like could be in the dirt. Like it just, all these data points are revealed when you are actually paying attention to the data, because at scale, they all matter. When you're running a business that's doing 10K, none of the data really matters to you, because you're just trying to survive.
Right.
Trying to keep the jobs flowing. You're praying for the next referral. You're trying to shake hands, spread fairy dust, hand out cards, park your car in front of the grocery store with your beautiful wrap for your business so that you can get the free branding and awareness. But at the end of the day, Conrad was a really great steward and student of information because he's already analytical. Like he's highly analytical, he's highly processed, he's got the most beautiful spreadsheets because he's already data driven. And when I ask him certain questions in his business, it starts to become obvious some of the holes and opportunities he fixed in his own business. Ultimately, that helped him solve business problems for his clients. And his clients have the same challenges that he revealed in his own business. At scale, they have those same problems. So now he's educated on how to solve those in his own business. But most importantly is solving those problems in other business is going to make his clients way happier.
That's right.
And improve their profit margins. And we're not talking by a little. We're talking taking businesses from 10K months to 100K, 200K months by lead flow, different lead sources, and getting that response time down as fast and as short as possible. Ultimately will result in businesses going from 10K to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he's going to observe that at scale over the next 6 months, year. And he will probably be on a podcast with some other agency owner, or now it'll be a student of his, which their mind will be completely blown, and their clients will be like, I didn't know that solving these problems, which were relatively simple, laying these pavers here and building this beautiful, whatever this is called, this outdoor space here, a hardscape, is hard. Some of these business problems, they're not that hard to solve in comparison to building all these buildings around here. So it's a different type of difficult for our consumer and our businesses. But we'll see that over the course of his next year. So on that, Conrad,
if there's one thing we could leave them with,
we're not going to leave them with. We're going to leave them with a lot more. So say it.
What I would say is the two things that I've gotten away with learning over the past few months and implementing for my clients, local contractors. If there's two things that you guys can do to focus on after watching this video, number one is increase the transparency that you have on your data. That goes for the ads, that goes for the sales, that goes for your fulfillment. How much time is your team spending on this job? That way you have crystal clear numbers, so that way you can make educated decisions, not decisions based on emotion. And number two, increase your lead response time.
Good, yeah.
Simpler said than done, but that's what I would say. If you guys implement this over the course of the next 30 days after watching this video, your business is going to change drastically. That has changed for mine. That's been the case for mine. The change has been amazing, and yeah, that's what I would tell them.
100%. And his low ticket, we've talked about the low ticket or the basis system that he's established in his business now, which is he's an affiliate of my agency essentially. And what we've done is we've helped him create a CRM, a go high level CRM, custom built for his clients and the problems he needs to that he can sell. And in that CRM, it's a website hosting, it's automated Google reviews, it's auto text to leads through AI and automations. That solves response time, that solves trackability. It also plugs into all their marketing funnels. So that's Instagram, Facebook, Google, LSA, Yelp. It doesn't matter. You pick and insert your lead source. The CRM handles that. It doesn't matter if you're getting a call, a text lead, a social media lead form fill out, a website lead form fill out. The medium does not matter. The CRM is designed to handle that. And inside that, he has the ability to scale various features, AI agents for communications, outbound, inbound calls, outbound, inbound lead setting, obviously calendar bookings, obviously you can do service, end-to-end service scheduling and calendar sets automatically with no person. So that tool is hugely powerful. It's very affordable for a business. A $300, $500 monthly retainer for a CRM that helps a business generate 20, 50, multiple hundreds of thousands a month or a day is invaluable and really a no-brainer because it helps them establish a very reliable tool. It's very scalable for those businesses. And now it's building trust and it's sticky at scale versus content and ads. I'm not a big fan of content in general on marketing is because I can't guarantee results. With the foundational system, once we plug in marketing, the results are almost guaranteed because now they have a holistic system end to end that solves some fundamental business challenges. So I'm excited to see him scale his offer. In the first, I would say you really only had a system maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
still optimizing it, building it out. But in that 2 weeks, you've already basically earmarked. You got 5 nods.
Yes.
On that. So that's 5 businesses that have agreed to a $300 to $500 retainer, resulting in about, what is that? 5 times 500. That's $2,500 in recurring revenue that you could see off of just the system. I just did the presidential thing. The system. Sorry about that, guys. Help build out a foundation system which ensures you're closer to funding your marketing with just MRR.
Yeah, and we've really built this CRM offer with all these features. This goes beyond the CRM. All these features included for transparency, lead response time, showing up properly on Google website if you don't have the basics, tracking everything, pipeline wise. We made it really affordable because it's a no-brainer for people.
Yep.
It really is. I mean, if you're running a business and you don't have $300 a month to spend, I don't know if you are running a business at that point, to be honest with you. And the amount of value that we packed into this, people can charge easily $2,000 a month for it, easily.
Yeah.
But because my goal with this is to make this accessible to as many business owners as possible, just because it's frustrating on how much they're missing of it.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. I mean, is $300 a month going to make or break my P&L? Absolutely not. But it is something that can genuinely help these people a ton for such a small amount of money monthly.
100%.
And then the goal is, obviously, if you're interested in watching videos like this, that's step 1. You might not be super excited about it. It's going to help your business. It's what you need. But that allows you to do step 2 so much better of running marketing, increasing the volume of leads that's running through that system because it's built properly already. You're having a high return on ad spend. You're not missing on these leads. You're not missing the follow-ups because you've done the groundwork. You've laid the foundation. Now you could build the house on top of it.
100%. Yeah, so here's what this looks like for business. A business spent 7-8 months laying down the foundation of brand with social media, posting regularly, running marketing, and generating revenue directly from Facebook, Instagram, lead form, DM ads, you pick, doesn't matter. Fine. Lay down the foundation, introduce this system. Client went from 50K to 100K, 100K to 200K. 200K now is approaching 250, 300K. And we did that. The only change was introduction of the system. The marketing budget increased by less than one per. The overall market increased by 30% in the business, from 50K to 250K. Right. So that goes to show you is your business changes when you're not dropping any leads whatsoever. The follow-up happens aggressively, and now he has access to the data, his personality for his businesses. I assure you, in not a very distant future, he will be sitting down with multiple businesses just like this. He'll have students, and those students will be saying the same exact thing.
But you need this.
Because they will be able to see the matrix, right? They'll be able to see the code. They will have the education, and they'll just feel instantly by where businesses are at, the exact problems they typically have, and the dials to turn to resolve those issues relatively quickly. And he'll get similar or better results, I'm very confident, simply because those problems are universal. Doesn't matter if it's Midwest, East, in Europe. It doesn't matter. The problems in business are fundamentally the same. So I'm excited for that. So that's his foundational system. Once again, is website presence, hosting, instant response, automated Google reviews, and ties into all the marketing systems. There's 36 different features that CRM does that I can't even get to or have the time to figure out, because these top 5 are essentially the most valuable issues to solve. Right? I have a client now, he already has 45 days into his business. He's brought in close to 200 booked jobs. He's made 50K month 2 in monthly revenue, and he's already received close to 40 5-star Google reviews.
That's huge.
And is ranking top 3 in his business on Google, and he runs 0 Google ads. So it's like a hack, man, and it's literally like posting on social media. A Google review is at a high enough rate with good quality and produced correctly, basically can replace marketing at scale when done correctly. Just like organic, the dream of great organic content, which so few creators will ever hit, could replace your paid traffic too. Mine hasn't, so don't feel bad.
Neither
has mine. That's not you. But it can happen because I've observed it. And every time it happens, I sit back jealous on the sidelines and be like, this is how the world's supposed to work. And it just doesn't work for me just yet. But that's okay. I love making content. Okay, what else you got for him, Conrad?
That's the bread and butter. I mean, I feel like if we keep on stacking more items on top of it, it's going to overwhelm them with information.
It's going to break their mind. We can chop this up. We try to make these as fun, as interesting as possible. So let's talk about Gio's results. So you mentioned Gio. So just kind of like to Conrad's horn here a little bit on how good he is at what he does. And I pick and choose my clients. By the way, I don't accept clients that I don't jive with and I don't trust get great results. So talk to him about kind of Gio's results, what he does, and kind of what he invested in his marketing, and then what was his return in general.
So Gio, he does hardscaping around the Chicago suburbs, the Chicagoland suburbs. He has high-end hardscaping projects, some landscaping. Now he's built so many connections with his brand that we built from complete scratch. We started his page from complete scratch. I literally had to make a new email with him in person to create that Instagram account, as scratch as it gets. And he was so focused, and he knew the importance of creating the content and building the brand, beyond just making money for the business. I'll get into his return, but the amount of connections that he has made as he's being seen as this leading figure in the construction industry in our area with fence contractors, deck contractors. Now he gets a job. He not only gets paid for the work that he does with his team, he also gets commission on the work that he subs out to all these other connections that he's built in our area, which is amazing. And then they feed him jobs back to him. Like I think last month he closed 50K plus just from one connections that he made from our group.
That's crazy.
One of the guys. But his results marketing wise in terms of how much he invested in ads and how much he made out of it for last year, he invested less than $8,000. I think it was $7,800, $7,800 into his Instagram ads. And off of that, he made $204,000 off of that in hardscaping projects. The return there is so big. People can look at it. You won't really find these returns anywhere else with just direct, like cold traffic. I mentioned this earlier. It's not every homeowner is ready to purchase from you right away. So the people that he got, we started his strategy before the season in February, before it gets warm up north in Chicago, because he knew he needed to build that audience before the season came to roll around. And that's why he was booked out with these projects. And people just starting when it got warm were confused as to why their stuff wasn't working, because he laid the groundwork out there as well. And that's also the reason why he was able to get such a high return. If you take 200 divided by 8, that's the return that he got. Crazy amount, because the content was there. Yeah. And that's why he's seen as this leading figure. He gets recognized out in person constantly. You can only imagine what that has done for his business, not only in the connections, profit margin. He's able to charge more. I know he charges one of the highest prices in our area, and he still wins the bid because people have seen so much content about him, his business, how he goes and fixes other contractors' problems, that they just want to go with the guy that they trust the first time to get it done right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And yet it's repeatable. You have now multiple clients with really phenomenal results.
Yes.
And that's through really just being an expert in what you do. I would consider you an expert.
Thank you.
And, you know, we're going to close this out. We could talk hours and hours and days on the amazing part of effective marketing systems, sales calls. At the end of the day, you're going to have to follow Conrad. You're going to have to check out what he does. Obviously, implement some of these systems, you know, try it out, build your confidence so that someday you're ready to, you know, take your business to new levels. And it's going to be really through system opportunities of marketing and
100%.
Obviously social media presence. Conrad,
so thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. And like always, it was a pleasure.